presentation of the Una Chapman Cox Awards for Excellence in Foreign Language Teaching. We're very pleased to have you all here, and I want to extend a special welcome and special recognition to representatives of the Cox Foundation. The Foundation makes these awards possible in close coordination with the Department of State, and we have special guests with us today. And maybe they could just stand and wave to the crowd. We have President of the Cox Foundation, Diane Vandermark. The Executive Director of the Foundation, Ambassador Lino Gutierrez. And Program Assistant Lenore Flower. We're very pleased to have you here. The awards are very important to this institution, as are the people to whom they are presented. My association each year organizes the judging of the nominations and the selection of the recipients. So I know firsthand the quality of the nominees, their performance, but also the way they represent an entire staff of language instructors who provide excellent instruction to our diplomats and other foreign affairs personnel who represent us. So I wish to join in congratulating the nominees and to all the members of the School of Language Studies. It is my pleasure now to call on Dr. Ruth Whiteside, Director of the Foreign Service Institute.
Thank you so much, Ken. This is really a very happy and exciting occasion for us every year. And I am so happy to see such a great crowd here to help us honor our most recent recipients of our Language Teacher Awards. I want to bring greetings from Undersecretary Pat Kennedy, who had planned to be with us today. Unfortunately, because of the talk about the possibility of a shutdown of the government, Undersecretary Kennedy had to be at a government-wide meeting where I expect, knowing him, he is giving them all the good reasons why we need to stay at work and doing the critical work that we do. But I know how much these awards mean to him and how much he has enjoyed the ceremony in past years, and so we will tell him about the occasion. The Department of State and the wider foreign affairs community have really always understood, I think, the importance of our diplomats really having a professional knowledge of foreign languages for their diplomatic effectiveness all over the world. I think we have recognized and our colleagues around the government recognize that the value added, really, that American diplomats bring to the critical work that we do is their knowledge of language, their knowledge of culture, their knowledge of the backgrounds in politics and religion and history of the countries where they serve. And no one is more important to that effort than the Foreign Service Institute, and within the Institute, the School of Language Studies, and in that language school, the cadre of professionals who every day give so much of their knowledge, their background, their experience, their wisdom to their students. And it's such a pleasure to welcome them all today. I'll tell you a very short story that happened just this week. We were visited by some of our colleagues from the British Foreign Ministry who are making some major changes in their own language program, and who asked if they could come and spend some time in our language school. And they did. They had a great program that Jim North and Marianne Miles and their colleagues put together for them. And when I visited with them before they left, they were literally blown away, I think it's fair to say, by the experience they had here. The interactivity of the classrooms, they sat through several classes, the interactivity, passion that our teachers brought to the work, the way our teachers had integrated technology so that they were really a full integrated part of the program and not just a kind of an add-on to the program. And I think they went away, as almost everybody does who visits, but we usually don't have visitors who are as sophisticated in training of foreign affairs professionals as our British colleagues. But they really went away amazed at the level of the work we do. And I think it says so much, as I say, about our award winners today are really just representatives of so many in the language school who do this great work every day. I also want to thank the Cox Foundation. We are so delighted to have Diane Vandermark here with us today. Diane is a part of the Cox family as well as the Cox Foundation and has been with us on several of these language occasions, and I think it always excites us, Diane, to have you here. Lino Gutierrez and Ken Brown and the Association for Diplomatic Studies and Training, which is the way our Cox funding comes to us, to Ken and his colleagues, are so much a part of what makes this institute so great, and so I want to be sure we extend our deep appreciation to all of them. I want to thank the families and friends of colleagues who are here. It's great to see such a great crowd. Before we introduce our award winners, I want to tell you just a few things about the Cox Awards and their history. This is actually the 25th, I believe, if I'm correct, and the 25th anniversary of our presenting the Excellence in Language Teaching Awards to FSI instructors. The nominations are made by the language students themselves, and I think this is another very important part of the program, that students take the time after their training, often drawn from several different iterations or several different years, to nominate the teachers that they believe have meant so much to them. Starting in 1999, the department joined the Cox Foundation in the awards, so we were able to make 2 awards to our winners and 2 honorable mentions, and we were very happy to be a part of that. The 2 principal awards, in addition to a very handsome certificate and a lot of honor, come along with a $7,500 award that goes with them, and our honorable mentions receive a $2,000 award. And as I say, the program is administered by the Association for Diplomatic Studies and Training, who help us assemble the judges and manage the awards for us. So to the winners, I want to say thank you very much for the excellent contribution you have made to our students, to the State Department, and really to the foreign policy and the successful foreign policy of the United States. At this time, I would like to ask Ambassador Marianne Miles, the Dean of the School of Language Studies, to come forward, and Dean Miles will introduce our winners. Marianne?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today for this ceremony. It's always a great thing to be able to recognize people who do a tremendous job, and that's the purpose that's the reason why we're all here today and the purpose of the ceremony. We're recognizing 4 language instructors today. There were many, many more who were nominated, and even beyond those who were nominated, there are many, many others who are heroes in the School of Language Studies and do a tremendous job every single day working with students and preparing them to go out and represent the national interests of the United States of America. It's hard work, and we know that, and we wish that we could give everybody due recognition for their hard work. The people who are being recognized today, as Dr. Whiteside said, include 2 winners and 2 runners-up who represent very broad diversity within the School of Language Studies. They come from a variety of divisions, including one that is very small and one that is very large. They represent the East Asia Pacific section of the language school, the Near Eastern section of the language school, and also the Slavic, Persian, Pashto section of the language school. The language programs themselves are Korean, Hindi, and Arabic, as well as one of our newer languages here at FSI, which is Pashto. We are happy to have such diversity, which shows that there is tremendous talent in the many areas of the language school. I'd like to thank the representatives, as Dr. Whiteside did, of the Chapman Cox Foundation. It's a marvelous partnership that we have, and through the generosity of the Cox Foundation, this ceremony is possible, and we have had many awards and many programs funded by Cox in the past, and I hope that partnership will continue just as strong in the future, because it makes possible this kind of recognition, which is so important. I would also like to mention that we want to give our thanks to Ambassador Ken Brown for his efforts. Ambassador Brown was the one who organized the selection committee and had the difficult task of sorting through and choosing sorting through all of the many qualified nominees, and then choosing the best among the best, and it was not an easy task. But thank you so much for that hard work and the people who worked with you on the selection committee. The ceremony now reaches the stage where we have our highlight. I'd like to welcome and recognize first the honorable mentions, the two teachers who will come forward, and then after that the two winners of the awards. Our first honorable mention is Arabic language and culture instructor Shada Rawi. Please come forward. While the pictures are being taken, I'd like to give a little bit of background. Shada has worked at FSI since 2003, coming to us from teaching experiences at George Mason University and the American Community School in Amman, following her own education at the American University of Beirut and Farmington State College. Her students who nominated her for this award noted the following. Shada really invested a great deal of effort into our training. She put in long hours, always made herself available, and helped us gain valuable insight into both the language and the culture. We left FSI with such a profound appreciation for the grammar, the poetry, and the rhythm of Arabic, not to mention the areas where language and religion intersect. That's a glowing tribute and shows that you really put forth so much effort above and beyond the call of duty. Our second honorable mention is Pashto language and culture instructor Amin Stanakta. Let me give a bit of background about Amin. He has taught Pashto at FSI since 2005, having come to the United States in 1992 as a refugee from Pakistan and taught Pashto and Dari within the refugee community. Amin graduated from Kabul University with a degree in civil engineering and also studied here in the U.S. at Nova. His students' nomination noted that Amin demonstrates an incredible ability to encourage, promote and foster meaningful dialogue between students and teachers, and has a special gift for knowing exactly the right balance between pushing his students to improve their language skills and offering affirmation about the progress they have made. He motivates students to articulate their thoughts in an organized fashion, enabling us to gain the confidence in speaking that is so essential when learning a language. Our first of the two $7,500 winners is Korean language and culture instructor, Ms. Sunil Kim. Sunil has taught for FSI since 1993, first at our field school in Seoul, where she contributed 14 years of teaching expertise, and then since 2008 has been here at FSI Washington in the Korean section. She holds a master's degree in teaching Korean as a second language from Korea University in Seoul, and a bachelor's degree in French language and literature from Shukshin Women's University, also in Seoul. Her nomination mentioned the following. Ms. Sunil Kim served in a unique capacity as an effective catalyst in breaking down the barriers to a seamless curriculum jointly offered by FSI Washington and FSI Seoul, which is a significant breakthrough that was critical not only to these programs' effective coordination and collaboration, but also to the two-year students' smooth transition from the first year to the second year of their studies in Seoul, Korea. Based on her broad experience and lessons garnered through years of teaching, research into second language acquisition, and focus on the nature of our students' challenges, frustrations, and roadblocks, Ms. Kim constantly and zealously sought to identify, create, and experiment with new ways, means, and approaches for resolving individual dilemmas and obstacles to language learning. Last, but certainly not least, I invite Hindi language and culture instructor, Ms. Sanjay Thapar, to come forward. Sanjay has been teaching Hindi language and culture at FSI for 6 years. She holds a master's degree in education, and prior to coming to FSI, she worked for nearly a decade in the Indian education system. She also taught intermediate Hindi at the Johns Hopkins University and in the School of Advanced International Studies. Let me give just a short quote from her nomination. On day one of our training, Sanjay took us by the hand and guided us into the world of Hindi and of Indian culture and society. Thanks to her, we can now navigate our own way through a subcontinent of 1 billion people, recognizing the elements of Indian society that are both centuries old and completely new. We are also now prepared to use our language skills in achieving America's diplomatic goals to create a more secure, democratic, and prosperous world for the benefit of the American people and the whole international community. I'd like to offer our 4 winners the opportunity to say a few words, and we'll move in reverse order. So Sanjay, if you would come forward first.
All this nervousness would go away right away. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear representatives of the Una Chapman Cox Foundation. Undersecretary Kennedy is not here, but Director Whiteside, Dean Miles, Dean North, I don't know where he is, Dr. Bernhard, my family members, and all the friends. I'm greatly honored to be recognized and to receive the Una Chapman Cox Award, which marks its 25th year this year, so I'll remember it all my life, and it's Jubilee, Silver Jubilee year I received this. I have many people to thank, but to start with, I would like to express my gratitude to my former and current students who are all here, who always inspired and motivated me to do better and better in the classroom. In the classroom, I'm not just an educator, but a student too, as I've learned a lot from all of you, and I will continue to learn that. So, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया. My time at FSI has been a delightful journey, and it continues. FSI is a great place to work at, and it is always giving us opportunities to showcase our abilities, skills, and expertise. I wouldn't be standing here without the support of Dr. Bernhard and Dr. Khilji. I deeply appreciate their continued support, trust, and faith in me. I've learned tremendously from my experiences here at FSI. So I would also like to thank all the mentors. I mean, there's so many of them. I can name a few: Darshi ji, Tasneem ji, Farzana ji, Pushpa ji, and my colleagues who are all standing here, who I work with every day to make our mission both successful and possible. And I definitely cannot leave this podium without thanking my family here, my husband and my 2 children who are here today to give me their continued support. Yesterday my son, his name is Kunal, he told me, don't forget to thank your favorite child. So, I have 2, so I would say Kunal, both of you are my favorite and beloved children. Not just you, but both of you, so Rashi needs to hear that today. And my dear husband Manish for his continued support. And thanks again for this award, which is South Asia Pride for my South Asian team members. I'll continue with my professional development and eagerness to learn and make changes with the changing dynamics and times of FSI mission. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I mean, this is the best time of my life.
감사합니다. That's in Korean. Thank you very much. Hi everyone. Thank you very much for your kind acknowledgement and generous support. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Cox Award Committee and Dean Marian Miles and Associate Dean Jim North and my Division Director Dr. Charlie Mayako and my Supervisor Dr. Melody, and all my former students who nominated me for this distinguished award. These officers are to be commended for their diligent effort and motivation to achieve their goals even when the end was not in sight. I'm not sure that I deserve for this special honor, so I would like to share with all the great teachers and colleagues both at FSI Seoul and here in Washington for their expertise and insights that have inspired me over the last years. Although I spent more than 15 years at the first school in Korea, I realized that teaching absolute beginners are totally different ball game. Which is very interesting. I still remember my very first Korean class many years ago, which went completely contrary to my expectations, even though I had prepared my lesson plan very carefully. When my students refused to participate in the role play activity that I designed very carefully, little did I realize that situations like that provide us with valuable learning and enrichment opportunities. The beauty of my profession is that we keep learning every day while we constantly endeavor to our turn to achieve our effectiveness. Moreover, there is never a dull moment in the Korean classroom. Actually, this is indeed a pleasure and privilege to serve this very fine institution. Last but not least, I wish to thank my family members for always supporting me. Thank you very much. And thank you all again.
Good afternoon, everyone. One of the good things of speaking after so many speakers is almost everything has been said. So I will not have a long speech. It is a great honor for me to be standing here today. It's an honor because you feel that everything that you do every day is being remarked and noticed. And the best part of it is that this is coming from the heart of this institute, which are the students. So I wish to thank the foundation and the institute and all my colleagues, my supervisors who have been so much helpful and so boosting to the morale on days when we find ourselves slumping down. This is a great place to be working in for so many reasons. I cannot stop to count, but the best thing about this place is the diversity. There are people from everywhere. It's almost like the United Nations, but I think it's more friendly. We don't deal with politics here. We deal with culture, with language, and we get introduced to so many different cultures that you get to smell their food, hear their language in the corridors. And the best part is when you hear the language coming from students, not just the teachers. The one thing I would ask people to be careful with is not to go to the 4th floor if you're dieting, because the aroma of food is just disastrous. I would like to thank everyone here who is a great part of this award. As I mentioned, the Institute, the Foundation, and my supporters, my great supporters, my mentors, my teachers, and my students. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be standing here today.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say that I am very much honored to get this award for the second time in 3 years. I am really thankful to the Cox Award Committee members, Dr. White and Dean Marian Maris, and Associate Dean, and our Division Director, Marsha Kaplan, my Supervisor, Katie Tangasberg, and my other colleagues. Thank you. And secondly, I would like to thank my fellow teachers for their coordination, cooperation, and constant support this year. And also, I would like to thank my students who nominated me for this award. It is a big prestige and encouragement for me to get this honorable mention. I am so proud of my students, and I get more passionate for teaching, which I see my students learning Pashto and making their successful career. My supervisor regular encouragement and guidance has made me confident enough to take a challenge in my teaching profession. I remember very well when I had a meeting with her in her office, and I quoted her 2 questions. How could you benefit from your engineering background in teaching, which is quite different from teaching a foreign language? The question was very tough to me, but my answer was very easy. I told her that both are closely related to each other. The language student needs the same strong foundation, which is required for the strong building. Her next question was, what if the foundation has already been laid down and you have to start from in the middle? I replied again, I will use the same principle of the civil engineering. I would first examine and inspect the structure that is built and before succeeding further. I would do all the necessary work to fill any gaps of my missing pieces. Since then, I have been treating my students and continuing my teaching profession with the same principles, and it has been a great success so far. I am grateful to all of my friends who helped and guided me through my careers at FSI. I am proud to be part of such a nice family. Thank you again from all my family.
Thank you to all 4 of you. Before we close, I'd like to offer a special thank you to the families and friends who are here to honor the 4 recipients of the award, because you too are honored today. No one can put forth a superlative performance without the support and the love and the kindness of spouses, families, parents, friends, and colleagues. And so to all of you who are here today to honor these 4 people, I'd like to thank you for your sacrifices, which made their superlative performance possible. Thank you to all of you. Before closing, I would also like to express appreciation to the more than 24 other nominees who were not selected, but by virtue of their nomination, there is testimony of their superior contribution, their superior work, and their efforts bearing fruit, because again, it was their students who nominated them. Your work is greatly appreciated, not only by those students, but by all of us as well. To the 4 of you, thank you for your very, very impressive performances and for your great contribution, not only to FSI and to your students, but to the national interests of the United States of America. And finally, I'd like to take just a moment to recognize other award recipients, past award recipients who are with us today. And your names all appear on a plaque here in the Wood Lobby. The 4 names of the winners today will also appear in the very near future on the plaque. But what I'd like to do is to ask any prior award winners to come forward so that we can do a group photo. with the Cox Foundation representatives, with Dr. Whiteside, and with our 4 newest winners as well. So please come forward for that photo, and that will be the conclusion of our ceremony. Thank you all again for coming today.